Welcome back to WaterparkRanger to Let's Play Wind Waker. This episode with 25% more lisp on one of the words that I previously said. Anyway, we got a small key just by jumping down here. Problem is really getting back up. To get back up, we need to defeat these enemies, Redeads. What you gotta do is use a jump attack, time it perfectly, because otherwise they're gonna stun you with their screech. That lets them move over and attack you, which sucks. Everyone hates Redeads, I hate them too. Skullhammer, timed jumps to the Skullhammers are the best for hitting them before they can stun you. We're really narrowly avoiding their stun move. So yeah. That's how you deal with them. That's how I deal with Redeads. Sometimes they give people more trouble than they really should. They gave me a lot of trouble my first time through. They still kind of creep me out. I mean, back then they really scared me, but not anymore. Now they're just kind of scary. Anyway, after you defeat the three of them, you're welcome to leave this place because the ladder, apparently they were using their Redead zombie magic to hold the ladder in place. There's also a great sequence break that I've seen people do, well, more like a cheat, where they just float over using their deku leaf onto the top of the coffin that holds the key, then float back, then use a boomerang to pick up the key. Therefore, they don't have to jump down there and fight the zombies to escape. Great strategy if you really, really hate Redeads. Okay, we got the mini-boss coming here because we got the extra load time. Oh yeah, right. This enemy, Stalfos, famous Zelda enemy mainstay since the first game. They appear very often in the series, but usually they have different attacks. In this game, they use these clubs and spin around trying to hit you. They also take many hits to defeat, even with your Master Sword. They have a ton of animations. For instance, if a spin attack is the last attack you use to break the skeleton, it won't just shatter, it'll turn into two separate pieces, and both sides will try and attack you. The torso tries and kicks, and the other half, I forget what it does. But if you take the mace when it reforms, check this out. Watch. It notices, wait, I don't have a mace, so it rips off its own arm and uses that as another weapon. So this enemy has a surprisingly huge amount of animations. So we're gonna see if we can break him apart using that mace before he can take it back by hitting us. Oh, okay, we did it. So yeah, the idea is to break him apart, stun him with your boomerang, stun the skull, and then hit him with a skull hammer for an instant KO. Otherwise, he just hops around a lot, and he's more likely to reform and put himself back together before you have the chance to kill the skull. Without killing that skull, you can't kill the Stalfos. So that's a handful to remember for fighting these enemies. They do require a great deal of improvisation for all the moves that they can pull off on you. Great strategy to use is the boomerang to stun them, a bomb at their feet, and just kind of strafe around them to get them to walk close to the bomb so that they're blown apart, use the boomerang to stun the skull, and then finish them off with a skull hammer. Complicated strategy, I know, but they are a hard enemy to fight if you just try and go after them with your sword. Especially if you're not that great at the game, they can really be a pain. Yes, Stalfos. Really, they're not tough for me, as you can see, because, no joke, I'm great at this game. Although it's not difficult to be great at it by any stretch of the imagination. It's not a tough game. But if this is your first time through, Stalfos are one of the most challenging enemies, so just keep that in mind. Also, have a good look at our hero shield. It's the last time we'll ever be using it. Spoiler for what the item is. Though not really spoiler, cause you're going to see it right now. It's a mirror shield, and funnily enough, we throw away our family shield that our grandma gave to us in exchange for the mirror shield. I hate how you do that in this game. You throw away the sword that Orca gives you. You throw away the shield handed down by the hero himself for some crappy newfangled items you find along the way, like the mirror shield and the master sword. What is this crap? No respect for the elders. They get no respect. So yeah, the mirror shield basically lets you have Meldy's reflector ability. Medley's, not Meldy's. So yeah, you don't have to rely on her anymore. You can now reflect those beams of light on your own. Don't get too comfortable doing that though. You still need Medley's help. There's gonna be some multi-reflecting puzzles coming up. Spoilers, gee, I'm spoiling a lot of stuff. I gotta stop talking about the future and focus on the now. Also, looks like I broke that pose lantern, so that one's gonna try and possess us. Oh, now both of them are gonna definitely try and possess us. This is where I show you a great trick where you can use Medley to take the possession for you. So take control of Medley, and they're going to go after Medley instead of you when they try their possession trick. And there's a glitch. I think this is a glitch. When they try and possess you, they can't reverse Medley's controls. So immediately upon possession, the Poe dies. Great strategy. So just use Medley to take the brunt of the possession if you don't like being possessed. That's really all there is to it. And like that, we got the Poes out of our hair. Yeah, Poes are very different in this game. I don't know any other Zelda where you have to really reflect light on Poes to attack them. Normally the thing about Poes is if you L target them, they disappear, or Z target, or whatever game you're using. Actually, come to think of it, Poes are very different in a lot of the titles, just like the Stalfos. Well, whatever. They're just recycling the names and general ideas for the enemy, but the strategies are actually quite different from game to game. So the trick here is to reflect it onto that little yellow mark that we've been doing the whole time in this dungeon. Only the cool part is you get to use Medley to set up the first beam, and then you... Oh, my prisoner. No, just kidding. You get to reflect that beam onto the insignia. Oh man, I love that animation for whenever she hits a wall. Okay, so we opened up a secret passage that you don't actually have to take, but I recommend that you take it. First things first, we will destroy that little religious-looking anteater statue using our beam of light. Get the 5 rupees. And now, this part's pretty awesome. Just like you used to get in here, once again you gotta take control of Medley. Bring her back to that little light beam in the wall. Also, how is the light coming from there? Makes no sense. Is there like one of Captain Almar's UV lamps in there or something? So from here, just stand and reflect to hit the insignia, and you get a crap load of rupees, which is awesome. And you want a lot of rupees, believe me. You want a ton, especially now that you can have 5,000. Do your best to try and fill that wallet as much as you can to the limit. Yeah, I was about to mention something, but it kind of slipped my mind. Yeah, this little thing I gotta mention. There's a control complaint I have about Wind Waker. If you're standing too close to Medley when you try and use your shield, you're gonna call her using R, because both of those controls do the same thing with R. Oh, the Four Masters are still here, you kidding me? What? Oh, no. You're not getting away, sir. We are gonna waste you. Or just stun you to get by, you know, whatever is most efficient. Do not grab Medley. I refuse to let you grab her. Okay, so set her down on that switch and go in here. You might be wondering, well, why didn't you do this earlier? Aha, because you couldn't bring Medley in here earlier because you had to use her to hold on that switch. But now that we can come here by ourselves, you can break these special insignias and get the treasure that lies within the not-so-worth-it Joy Pendant. Hey, but at least we have it. I'd feel bad leaving a chest behind. Though, that's probably going to happen at one point or another. Though I'm doing my best not to let that happen. And it really bothers me that the light is seemingly coming in from nowhere. Okay, Medley, you must be back at the beginning of the room. Okay. Good, you have not been caught by Four Masters. You do not want those Four Masters to catch you. So, yeah. You might recognize that symbol in the statue's eyes, the same thing that we hit with a light beam to escape from the Stalfos chamber. That's actually because we need to hit it again with the light beams. So Medley, move right here, use your reflector, hold it perfectly into the eye for long enough for that face to light up, then keep holding it in there, use it to cancel to keep her there. Now Jack. Do the same thing, only with R. It's hard to say which reflecting control scheme feels more natural, using the A button or the R button. I don't know, I never really thought about it before. Maybe, I guess I'm biased towards R because it's our own character who's using it. So we're going to see what's down here, in the deeper points of the dungeon, next episode. See you then.